Hello and welcome to DCP's SideQuest episode number 17, the one about gluten tossing and Monster Hunters. Iceborne. We're back from PAX. Also, how was last week's episode, guys?
Yeah, how did it go? Chat, how was it? Because we weren't here, but you were.
Those standing guests really helped us out, man. Like, reliable, like, thank God they were here to back us up, right?
Yeah, thank goodness. Thank goodness we weren't left alone.
Yes.
Who was it? It was Patrick, Pope, and Eric's did it last week?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, right?
I think
that's
right.
totally what happened. Absolutely,
right?
Guys. It was a great episode. Good luck finding it. Yes.
Good luck finding SideQuest in general, really.
What we actually did was said some really offensive things and deleted it. So
yeah, it was a one and done podcast.
podcast.
We were the audience, the podcasters, and decided that was good. Yeah. Speaking of Eric's, he is not here today because he's got some embargo stuff he was doing. He had
an embargo thing.
Yeah, he's
covering all the games.
He had a date,
gluten embargo.
A date with an embargo.
That's all we know. He had a date with an embargo.
Yeah. So he's handling business is what's going on at the moment.
Right.
Speaking of business and handling, the handler.
How does the business of killing monsters go?
The handler's been handling my business while I kill the monsters, man.
Oh, I need one of her in real life. I need a handler.
Don't we all?
Not an assistant, not a manager. I need a handler.
Yeah.
I like it.
And you can't be your mom because then you feel really bad when you have to tell them they screwed up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally want to feel totally disattached to this person.
Yeah, exactly.
Like not care if they live or die, frankly.
Be like, you're replaceable.
Yeah. Like, look, I understand that's a 30-year-old ladder, but those gutters got to get clean today. I don't care if it is a hurricane. I don't pay you to sit on your ass.
Oh, man.
Briar's toxic.
Man,
to his mom, of all people.
Yeah. Jesus, guys.
Jesus, Briar.
So Monster Hunting, man, this shouldn't be surprising at all. But Monster Hunter World is fantastic.
Wait, what?
And sure enough, Iceborne is incredible.
Incredible. Like, seriously, top 3 DLCs ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Any video game.
Dude,
any video game.
Any video game.
It changes the game hands down. Like, it is a legit expansion. Like, it takes the base game and says, wasn't this great, this base game? What if we just take all of that and just build on it all and make it better and give you brand new stuff? And like, okay, yeah. And remember how you liked grinding and getting to a new area and new stuff to hunt? Let's give you like 27 new monsters.
I haven't played it yet. Can you guys explain like some of the new stuff? Like what exactly is new? I mean, I know that there's a new area and I know there's new monster, but aside from that, like what's...
So in a game-changing sense, there's the Clutch Claw. And so this is one of like obviously a lot of things, but like the Clutch Claw changes everything because now you have this new option for softening up your kill. You know how you want to like butter up that bacon, or like the
butter that bacon, boy.
Briar knows all about it.
You want to tenderize the steak, So it essentially gives you the option to tenderize the steak and on multiple points. You can clutch claw into the monster. You do like an attack to weaken it, essentially, and you can do it on multiple points again. And if you do it on the head, you can unload all of the slinger ammo to knock the monster or to send the monster accelerated force into an area. And if it hits a wall, then it gets a knockdown. It's a guaranteed knockdown.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it does like a lot of damage too. So earlier, I also knocked a monster off the edge. So I knocked the monster down to the next level, fell, saw 950 damage.
That's amazing.
And it's just on the floor squirming.
That's big damage.
That's big
So
damage.
Does the Clutch Claw itself do the damage, or is it a tool for you to get within range to do damage?
So it's kind of short range. So you have to be relatively close to the monster, like not right next to it, but you have to be within a normal distance of the monster, and then you get to pick like usually the tail, the midsection, or the head, and sometimes there's 2 midsections. And then the soften attack does a decent amount of damage. It'll end up doing like 200 plus damage every time you use it, and what it does is it weakens that area. So every time you hit, like let's say you weaken the tail, if the tail isn't already a weak spot, it'll now have like these markers that say you're hitting a weak spot, but it's because it's been weakened.
Oh, okay.
And that lasts for like probably 2 minutes or something like that.
They even have they have weapons and skills that are also tied to that new weak spot.
Yeah.
So there's some armor where it's like it says if you have, this amount of armor, your set bonus is you do increase damage to weak spots, and you always have access to making your own weak spots.
Yeah.
So it kind of opens up this whole other way of playing. It's also really good for melee people, anyone using a melee weapon and there's a monster just flying around everywhere, and enables you to actually get in there and do damage instead of just waiting for it to fall. And it's some of the moves you do on it are they just look really cool and they feel really cool.
Does it help you like target like a specific area that you want the armor from? Like you really want it to drop?
I guess if you wanted to cut off the tail, you weakening the tail is always going to be good.
You could do a cut. Like I cut a tail from a weak spot attack. Like, I latched on and then dropped the sword down and did cut the tail from that. So I'm pretty sure you can break face too.
You slash with an arrow 3 times in your hand, and then you do a backflip off the monster and do a spread attack.
That's cool.
So you do it and you're like, whoa, that's cool. I like that. You could even technically do the attack into a falling attack to then mount the monster. So it opens up this whole other way of playing. And there's also new moves to each weapon.
Yep.
So for bow, for example, there's a new move where you load all of your slinger ammo into your bow and you shoot a spread attack and all of the slinger ammo at the monster.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. Does a lot of damage, especially if it's like a piercing pod. It just pierces through all the monster.
Yep.
It's so good.
I feel bad about this, but I have not actually investigated what the Great Sword new move is. I should have done that.
No?
Yeah.
Is that what you're main in, the Great Sword, and Watts, you're doing the bow?
I am a bow. I'm a bow.
Base game, I played Great Sword all the way through, and then I branched out to the other weapons. There's only like a few weapons I actually don't like. I like most of the weapons, but the Great Sword, there's something extremely visceral with hitting a triple charge on a monster and seeing those numbers, because you just feel like you actually feel like you're bashing the monster. And I sometimes
what was it? That was the weapon that I started with, and I enjoyed it tremendously. And then I tried out the hammer, and I was sold.
Oh yeah,
the hammer too. Yeah, it was like it made me giggle with excitement every time I swung it.
Yeah,
I hear the new move for the hammer is quite exciting.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made a decision to wait until the PC release for Iceborne. Have I made a mistake?
Yes.
I can't imagine waiting, Briar, honestly.
It's coming out in January.
I just feel like September is too much. Like there's just too much happening in September. I didn't want to start Iceborne and then just like, because I'm definitely playing Gears of War 5 came out today. And by all accounts, it's
I thought it was last week.
Well, if you have a Game Pass.
Oh
no, today.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
And then Greedfall is coming out tomorrow, which I'm really hoping is good. I have no idea, right? Because there's like I haven't seen any early reviews or anything, so I don't even know if they're out there. And then we know Borderlands is coming out on Friday.
Thursday, technically.
Thursday, yeah. So
if you're on the Epic Store, Thursday at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Is there another way to get it besides the Epic Store?
Well, if you're on console, you have to wait until
midnight in your time zone. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to wait till midnight in your time zone. Yeah. So if you're playing on PC, you get it early.
Yeah.
Early.
Epic Store.
Thank you, Epic Store. You're the best.
Steam actually does a similar thing. Steam does a similar thing where they have a set time when they release new games.
Yeah.
So you can actually end up getting something earlier on Steam than on console because of that set time release. Because it's the same thing with Code Vein. Technically, PC comes out later.
Right.
On when you look at it, but in actuality, it comes out earlier because of how Steam releases games.
Yeah, I wish consoles would get rid of like time zone releases.
Oh, I hate it.
Like, what's the point aside from trying to stagger people hitting a server?
Right.
Like if you
staggering server, I totally get.
Yeah, I get that, but like if it's a game that's not hitting a server, like why do time zone stuff? Because your old business model, it's like it's a worldwide market right now. So
yeah.
Back to Monster Hunter. So
there's
tons.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. The new area is huge and beautiful and lots of intricacy and interesting map design that you'd expect from Monster Hunter. I think one of the biggest surprises for me was The monsters that are subspecies, like a new Anjanath, new Toby, all that stuff, they don't just feel like they recolored them, Briar. You know, like you'd think that in Monster Hunter World they're just gonna give like Toby a different color and that's it. Like they redesigned a bunch of move sets, so it feels like you're fighting a new monster. And there's new armor, there's new weapons, all associated with these subspecies of it. So it's really cool. It's like imagine fighting a knight in Destiny. And then there's like a subspecies of that knight that has like a whole new set of moves that you're unaware of.
And new looking armor from them too. It's not just like recolored armor. It's actually like different armor.
Newly designed armor with new perks. And yeah, it's really cool.
That's huge because that's like a big motivator, right? It's like going in and killing that monster over and over again. If it's the same move set, then it's like, well, I already know how to do this. So there's no learning curve here. It's just rote. You know, like just doing it like I was doing it last year. But then if there's new armor too, it motivates me to do it. Plus, it's an adventure doing it because I got to learn how to do it. That's amazing, actually.
Exactly. Yeah. And they tie it into the story of how you're finding this monster. It's so well done, man. I was not expecting this expansion to be like, oh, how about Monster Hunter World 2.0? But that's what it feels like, is like, here's a sequel almost to the game that's happening.
If they would have told me that this was Monster Hunter World 2, I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Are they bringing in new right after they released Monster Hunter, they had kind of like, I don't want to say seasonal events, but like kind of weekly events. Like 1 week you could earn Ryu's kind of costume. 1 week you could do like a new cat costume.
I'm pretty sure
are they doing that?
Pretty sure that's continuing. Yeah. And I think next month there's a new monster that's being added.
Yeah, they've already announced that the next month they have a new monster coming.
Yeah.
Really?
Even before Iceborne came out, they showed that a new monster is coming. So they're always really good at doing collaboration events. So you get like The Witcher is in Monster Hunter, Mega Man. They always do really cool crossovers, and then they're constantly adding new monsters too. So
but when you get the costumes like for The Witcher, do you also does that just like basically go over the armor that you're wearing? So you still get the stats of your armor?
Yeah.
But then you look like The Witcher?
Isn't that correct?
If it's a layered armor, I'm not actually sure if it's a layered armor or not.
Oh, you're right. In the beginning, they didn't have that. It was like stat-based armor.
Yeah,
but now they got this layered armor system. So essentially, you can look a certain way while having the armor that you want on for the perks.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. It's awesome, bro. Seriously, like this game.
I can't wait till this game comes out in January. This is gonna be amazing.
I put 300 plus hours in the base game. Loved it.
Yeah.
But I was done because I was like, I got most of the things I want, and I'm good.
Right.
Now they add 27 monsters, a whole new rank, master rank, and
there's 27 new monsters.
Yes.
27.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's not like here's 3 or 4, go get them, cowboy. It's like here's a brand new like thing that you're gonna go and conquer. It's crazy, man. Lost my train of thought. Crap.
Sorry.
But what's really incredible as well about just Monster Hunter is the attention to detail of the world. Like if you stand around and watch, you can see Palicos doing a full baking routine.
Yes.
And then they pick up the dish and they're running it to the kitchen, and it really makes it feel like you're living in a town. And you can go in like hot springs now with your cat, and you can like play with the cat and you can splash around. It's just the attention to detail is absolutely insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I was watching your stream, Watts, and you went to the Forge.
I did.
And everybody was getting like really excited because we're like throwing stuff into the Forge and the Palicos are jumping up and down, and you're kind of doing this like pantomime dance, and then it's like the thing's gonna blow up and everybody's getting super excited. Like they haven't lost the whimsy either. Like it's still like it's super fun just to be in that world.
It feels magical. When you're in the world, it just feels like homely and warm and magical, and it's they really do such a fantastic and murder. Yeah. And making things out of dead body parts.
I remember what I was going to say. I want to say the difference between high rank and master rank is significant. So on a high rank, you'd cap out around like 80 to 90 armor ish on your pieces of gear. You would say it would be like 80.
Is that in the base game?
Yeah, base game had high rank. So you had low rank to start with, and you went to high rank, and that's where the end game was for base game. They introduced master rank, and the lowest armor for master rank starts out at like 118. So nearly 40 points higher than what the end game best gear was for the base game. of your armor.
So what's it look like? Let's say you played through the story in the first game. Can you just jump right into Iceborne, or do you have a significant amount of grinding before you can just go over to Iceborne?
Yeah, actually, Watts, do they give you any kind of shortcut to get gear?
You just have to actually start it. You just have to finish the main campaign of Monster Hunter World, and then technically you're good to go. Will it be difficult because your armor is maybe not up to par? Potentially. But I think what you could do, you should probably be able to take down the first few, maybe 2 monsters, okay? And then maybe you can farm them to get master rank armor, and then you're like good to go.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
There's also there's a great Jagras that you can farm for better armor and better weapons.
Yeah.
So if you do start Iceborne after you put the game down for a while and you find you're struggling, you can just go and do that.
Yeah.
It won't take you long to get the full set.
And also the thing is, you're definitely going to have to do that because like once you get past a couple monsters, they are kicking your ass. Like I think that's another distinction too, is that master rank. I feel like every monster is like hyper aggressive and very very crafty in the moveset. Like you're constantly guessing what they're going to do. There's only maybe like, just like you said, like the first 2 are kind of like the easy ones, easy-ish. And then like, and then you start progressing and it's like, they're all like annoying at times with their movesets, but it's good though. It's satisfying to kill them because you feel like you've accomplished, you've overcome the challenge, and then you get better gear, better weapons, and then you can kill them quicker and all that.
I think it was maybe 4 monsters in where I was like, I'm gonna need to upgrade some stuff. I'm doing no damage.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't help because with the bow, the changes to bow, they made it to where you really have to spec into the elemental damage of the bow. And of course, when you're early on, you're not making any builds. You can't make any builds. You're just trying to get whatever works. So I'm finally at the point where I'm actually feel like I'm doing damage because I can make an elemental build.
Nice.
But yeah, I was like, these fights were taking me like 40 minutes average at the beginning.
Yeah, I just killed.
God, I am hyped for January now. This is gonna be amazing.
Oh, it's so good, bro. Seriously, like imagine how much you enjoyed Monster Hunter in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, here's a bunch of it more that's fresh.
Yeah. Oh, I'm psyched.
And the armor looks really good. They've done some really beautiful looking armor and some very interesting new perks that they've brought in as well.
I was watching your stream again today, Watts, and I tuned in just when you were like putting on this cape that looked like it was made out of like the back of a squid or an octopus, but it was like inflated in a way that made it look super cool, but it was also like really well animated. Like it was a really cool piece of armor. The
full armor set of that looks so good. Just on looks alone, I'm like, yep, I'm just gonna get it. It's also really good for bow, thank goodness. But I want the full thing. And I've thought that about a lot of things. The Valkana armor is beautiful and also really cool. The perks on that, it's got a perk where when your weapon's sheathed, you get like a frost aura around you. And the longer it's sheathed, like the more damage your attacks will do.
It increases your attack damage as it's sheathed.
It does, yeah.
And then as you start attacking, it starts decreasing, but you have to resheath to regain it. It's so cool. Just those little touches to make builds and all that. Also, there's tier 4 gems now in slots with tier 4 gems. So you know how it originally went tier 1, 2, and 3? They added a 4th tier for gems and new gems that show up with that to further progress the build potential. And also
the gems as well. The gems, so you can get ones where it's like fire damage, for example. And instead of doing +1, it will do +2 with the 4-star gem. But also they have mixed ones. So you can get an attack boost that also has guard on it. So you can have these gems that have more than one skill.
Yeah, these combo gems.
To make some really, really cool builds.
Yeah. And a bunch of the equipment in gear is upgradable as well. Like a lot of necklaces can be upgraded. There's mantles that you can upgrade. There's
Was that not in? I don't remember being able to upgrade.
You
necklaces.
could upgrade them to a point, and now this expansion expanded it further for more upgrades.
So old gear that you already have could now be upgraded higher, or you got to earn the new.
You got to earn new gear, but things like necklaces and mantles. Some of them have. I don't know if all of them do, but I know some of them have upgrade paths for further stuff, which is cool.
It's the same with like Val Hazak, for example. I had his bow. He now has another upgrade to that weapon. So even some of your old weapons now have further upgrade paths. Either that's just going to the next step of that specific monster, or it leads to a whole other monster set of weapons.
Yeah, the only thing that you technically would leave behind permanently is high rank gear, right?
Yeah,
because you would never upgrade that to be usable.
Yeah,
it's always you could take your old sword, like I have a Nergigante set, or I mean all the weapons, and I'd like to take those to the new Nergigante Rarity 12 once I'm at that point. So yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. How about the story? Does it have a new story mode?
There's a new story, and I'm still not done with the story.
Still not done with it. How many hours did you put in, Watts?
Cool. At least 20.
Oh, that's good. How long was the story mode in the original? It wasn't that long.
I thought
right?
I'd be done by now.
No, it was about 30 hours in the base game.
Was it about 30 hours
to like get to end game, or
it's a
30-ish?
lot.
Yeah. So I just beat the boss that you think is the boss, and I'm sure now there's like a switch up to where there's something else cooking.
More stuff coming.
Yeah. You know how it was Zora Magdaros in the original was like the thing that you think you're going to kill, and then it ends up becoming Xeno'jiva later. So I think they're following that formula as well.
And then they also in the base game they then introduced all the Elder Dragons, right? So then you're like, oh well, I have Nergigante and I have Deor Kashala, Kashala, Dora.
Nailed it.
Yeah, it's a similar thing here. So after you kill Velkhana, you're gonna be hunting for footsteps of Elder Dragons, and then you go and fight upgraded Elder Dragons.
Upgraded.
I'm not gonna lie, I got my ass kicked.
You should.
By one of them in particular, really bad. I ran out of time one time. I got carted all the way back to hometown. Yeah, it was bad.
And the whole expansion is $40, right?
$40. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. And with a 20-hour story mode, and I'm sure there's another bunch of hours of just grinding for like the coolest gear and killing Elder Dragons. You guys think it's worth it?
It's easily another like 200, 300 hours.
Really? You think so?
Easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's impressive, Briar. Seriously, man.
Man, I can't wait for that release date.
Yeah, that January on PC.
Not January.
That's
you guys are so lucky you got early access.
That is honestly the only real issue is that their parity for PC is non-existent, and so it's
that
Japan
fucking
doesn't
sucks.
care about PC.
No,
Japan really doesn't care about PC. They're starting to. There's companies that are starting to realize that.
Yeah, Capcom really seems to have kind of embraced it recently.
This is Capcom.
Wait, is that...
What?
Monster Hunters by Capcom.
Yep.
Also load times. Load times on PS4 is I forgot.
You just get to bond, Yeah.
You
bond with
I'm like,
your friends.
I'm going to the ancient forest.
Cat.
Time to get some coffee.
Take
a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No problem at all.
It's phenomenal though. The entire game is just phenomenal. The amount that they've added to it is insane. The new town I think is beautiful to be in.
Yeah.
The new gathering hub is better.
Yeah, there's a whole new town that you visit.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, or they set up. Yeah, you get
and the mama cat.
Yeah, Grandma Meowsworth is
yes.
cooking food.
Grandma Meowsworth.
I don't know her real name.
When I first started playing that game, when I first started Monster Hunter World, I did not think I was gonna like the nature of like the kind of the silly side of Monster Hunter, but you really get into it. It really kind of
you embrace it.
It lightens the mood, and it's just fun, like it's not going to be a super serious kind of like story, but it's just kind of quirky and fun.
Honestly, I think it has to, because at the end of the day, you're essentially wiping out populations of these monsters, and some of them straight up limp and like whimper like a puppy dog, and I feel at that point I'm like, I'm gonna have to kill you.
Yeah. So having that having your Palico run around as Mega Man makes you feel a little bit better.
Yeah. About cutting off that tail and then murdering that rare monster.
That very beautiful monster that was just minding its business.
Yeah, that was just part of the ecosystem. Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
That came out on Friday, right?
Was it Friday?
Or was it Thursday?
Thursday night.
Midnight, so Friday.
Yeah, it was a Friday release, but
it was Friday.
If you're on game,
I feel like this game kicked off September. like
It
in
did.
a way that it's now going to be fast and furious for the rest of the month at least, and then for a lot of the rest of the year. You know, we were kind of talking before the show. Is we got this game coming out, or this game just came out on Friday. Gears of War 5 came out today, and that's free if you're a Game Pass member. So you can just download that and play it. That's on PC or Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
We got Greedfall coming out tomorrow, which is probably limited. Some people are going to be into that, some people aren't. I don't even know how good it's going to be. We got Borderlands 3 coming out on Thursday night / Friday morning.
Yep.
And then we got Destiny Shadowkeep coming out October 1st. Death Stranding's coming out in November, right?
November, I think,
Doom Eternal.
I feel like there's something coming between Borderlands 3 and
Code
Destiny.
Vein.
Code Vein. Zelda.
That's right.
Zelda's coming as well.
And Zelda.
That's right. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yep.
Man, I really want to play that Zelda game.
I know, it looks good.
That's the remake of the Game Boy game.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of this really cool 3D looking world, and it looks great on the Switch. And I've kind of got a soft spot in my heart for Zelda.
Same. Yeah, I love that series.
Yeah, it's as soon as Iceborne came out, I was like, September is officially here, guys.
Yeah,
game on.
That's definitely what it's felt like, and it's been great because, man, I'm loving it. It's great to have the distraction. I'm actually, I'm disappointed and excited over the fact that I'm going to have to drop it for Borderlands on Thursday because I'm obviously going to be nowhere near done with Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Nowhere near. Not even close.
Yeah.
But the fact that Borderlands is this week is crazy, man.
So have you thought about trying to omit one game and just wait on it until January or something like that? Or are you just going to take it as they come, play them?
Oh,
and then
wait.
Once you get through Destiny Shadowkeep, then you can come back to it. One or two of them
games like Greedfall. I hate to do it to Code Vein because I really would like to play that game right away, but I think I'm gonna have to bump that until the calm. The Zelda game I'm gonna have to bump. It's basically
that game's
it's basically Iceborne.
That game's happening for me on the couch.
Borderlands 3 and then Destiny is my schedule.
I'm downloading Greedfall tomorrow right away. I'm gonna try it. If I like it, then I'm just gonna go hardcore on it until Borderlands 3 comes out. But once Borderlands 3 comes out, although not to switch topics, but Tefty, we played Borderlands 3 again at PAX.
Yes.
And we came away with a slightly different interpretation of what was going on there than we did the last time we played it.
So it felt like it was on PS4, and it felt like the aim assist on controller was turned down considerably.
A lot.
From what we had played before. Yeah.
It didn't feel as good. It just straight up did not feel as good as what
the PAX build
we played
specifically.
The PAX build, which is weird. It's very strange that it would be like that.
Yeah, it felt like it felt like a weird 30 FPS. Maybe it was trying to do 45, but it kind of oscillated back and forth. And the aim assist was weird, and the field of view was definitely more narrow. So I'm pretty sure it was on PS4, and we had played on PC on mostly 60 FPS at 1440p, and it felt considerably better than back in May. But I plan on playing with mouse and keyboard anyway, so I'm not really concerned about it.
I will be as well. Yeah. I mean, I would like to hear from people what they think about it, because I think all of the reviews on the reviewers were they playing on PC.
Probably, yeah, most of them.
I think they gave everything on PC, so I don't think we actually have any reviews of a console version right now.
Right.
So and the reviews are out, Watts?
The reviews are out. I have heard that the review process was a little strange because they gave people an Epic account with Borderlands already unlocked, but it wasn't a final Borderlands. It wasn't the final Borderlands 3. It was some other kind of beta version. And then they weren't giving codes to people outside. Well, not codes, accounts to people outside of the US is what I've heard as well. A bunch of reviewers were not able to review the game.
That's weird.
That is super
really
weird.
Strange.
Imagine that. 2K and Borderlands 3 doing weird stuff. Hard to believe.
Is this the company that Randy Pitchford is with? Is that?
I don't know.
That adds up.
Yeah, it's very strange. But the reviews so far have been really good, except for PC Gamer was like, I didn't really enjoy it a whole lot.
Yeah.
It's kind of seems like you're in one of two minds. It's in the mind of the game is 8 years old. It should have had some kind of not reinvention, but additional things added. Or I just want more Borderlands and I'm really happy with them just making Borderlands a better experience.
That makes sense to me. Also, that humor, like the kind of aesthetic and humor of Borderlands, I feel like is hit or miss for people.
Yeah.
Like some people, they find everything to be kind of funny and wacky, and other people just find it to be immature and boring. Yeah,
the PC gamer guy was like, I could play Borderlands 3 if I mute it.
Yeah.
So apparently it was really bothering him.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen Borderlands 2 reviews that are kind of the same way. It's like, the mechanics of the thing, separate the mechanics and the graphics of it from the aesthetic of it and the kind of the over the top humor, and like you get almost two different reviews. Yeah. I like that over the top humor. I think it's funny.
Yeah, I do as well.
But that's me personally. Like obviously I'm kind of an idiot, so like dumb humor makes sense.
I'm in the same camp. Like I want more Borderlands. Like I don't want them to try to reinvent and like suddenly get rid of random roles.
Right.
Borderlands, like I want them to embrace what makes Borderlands great, and that is part of the humor, part of the craziness, and part of the fact that there's just a crap load of guns being generated, and that's great to me. Like I can't wait to play it. It's totally possible that they took too many deviations or went too hard in certain areas when it comes to story and humor. I could see that happening and getting annoying for replays. But yeah, I can't wait. I'm personally mega excited.
Any game that's grindy for me, I mean, Monster Hunter, Destiny, whatever game it is, once I go through the story, I'm usually got like Spotify on and that kind of thing on anyway.
Yeah, you're half paying attention to it anyways by that point.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think there's any reports on what the end game specifically is going to feel like yet either.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually.
And that's a big question mark for me. Like, are they going to stick to exactly what they did with Borderlands 2? Which will be a little disappointing, a little bit, because I would like some actual in-game activities. There might be information out there on it right now on what they're going to do with the end game.
There might be.
Yeah, I haven't really dug into it because I want to be as blind as possible going into a game that I'm insanely excited about. So we'll have to see. Also, what type of support they're going to do beyond it. Like what type of DLCs, what type of expansions, what type of characters they're going to add and all that. Yeah, I'm excited to see all that. So can't wait.
It's weird that they sent out like a pre-release patch version of the game to review. Because like if you do that, right, like any bug that's in that version that you review, you can say, well, maybe they'll fix this for the final release.
I have heard that there were some really bad bugs. I read one review who was just talking about the technical problems, and they said that I just expected it to crash. It crashing was just a part of my experience.
Ugh. I hope that's not the case.
I don't like that experience.
I'm sure there's going to be a day one patch, and I'm sure this is the one that was obviously did not have the day one patch. But yeah, we'll just have to see how it plays on PC.
Yeah,
because that's where they were having the issues.
You want to
wait till find out if people are having a lot of problems with the version that you want to buy it on.
And I remember on the first week, I can't remember what it was. There was some sort of weird bug or like frame rate issue with Borderlands 2 on launch. And I remember scouring the forums every day, constantly seeing if there was any kind of like hint of an update or if there was some sort of any file tweak that somebody came up with that fixed things.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like that's kind of the rhythm that you get into with being a day one player on these things.
Yeah. I had massive problems with Anthem at first with frame rate. And I have as powerful a computer as I could put together right now. And I was having serious frame rate problems with Anthem when it came out.
Yep.
And that required me to go into the INI and figure stuff out.
Yeah.
I had to pull it out to be an Audi, and that fixed everything.
Yeah. So not to be surprised, the reviews are mixed in that sense. Just like I said, some people want something innovative and different and don't want the Borderlands humor. And other people are like, give me more of the same. And
more Borderlands. Sounds like it's more Borderlands.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. The campaign doesn't seem super long. Doesn't seem like you're gonna be in there for many
Did they give an estimation of the campaign?
Oh, I can't. Someone said how long it took them to get through the campaign. I can't remember how long they said.
Yeah, I will take a short campaign with a long end game any day of the week, especially.
For sure, yeah. With these games, I think I actually prefer that when it's like a Borderlands type game where it's like, okay, I get to, know the story about the world, learn some things, learn how to like use all the moves and the skills that I get. But then after that, I'm happy to get into grinding.
Yeah, especially when it's like you want to build multiple characters.
Right.
Exactly.
The thing though about Borderlands is historically they've done it where the campaign essentially becomes endgame after you hit max level and everything levels to your max level. So the things you could get before are now suddenly the proper level that you want it to be. I don't know if
That's true.
I doubt they're going to change or deviate from that, but it'd be interesting if they are going to cut back on the main campaign and have more side quest stuff. Yeah.
It's hard to say too, because everyone plays games so differently that when it comes to campaign length, I'm always like, it's usually really different for me.
Yeah.
So, but we're only a few days away.
Yeah.
Another thing we got to try out at PAX was the Stadia, and this was my first time hands-on with the Stadia. Tefty, I know you got a chance to play it. Watts, did you walk over to the Stadia booth and give that a shot?
I did not.
Did not? Did you get to see it in action?
No.
No. Okay.
The screens they had there were pretty small, right? So you couldn't actually see unless you stepped up.
The screens they had were weird. They had like cell phone size screens that you could play on. They had iPad size screens that you could play on, and then they had big mamma jamma 27-inch 4K screens, but they're really shitty 4K screens. And I know they were shitty 4K screens because I actually have the exact model that they had on the show floor. I have one of those at home, so I know how shitty it is. I use it as like kind of a backup, like, if I need to throw a monitor on something. But it's like this really kind of inexpensive.
It's your Honda Civic.
Samsung 4K. Yeah, totally. It's like my winter beater. So, but I gotta say, Stadia to me was more impressive than I thought it was going to be. Obviously, this was on the show floor. This was, who knows where the server was, who knows what was actually happening there. But we played Doom Eternal, and I was kind of blown away by how instantaneous the control felt.
Yeah.
Like, it was, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Tefty, you said you didn't like the video quality, though.
Well, I could tell that it was compressed. And being somebody who's used to seeing uncompressed GPU generated images in Destiny is gorgeous coming off of a PC GPU.
Really is.
Yeah, and you can tell the difference when you go from like PlayStation to PC. There's a color depth that you're getting.
There is a color depth difference.
Yeah, there's a color like richness that comes through, and that was clearly not there on the Stadia version. How big of a difference, or I mean, how important that is? Like, if I didn't have a PC to be able to know that was missing, I'd be like, okay, cool, yeah, this is great. The input latency was next to non-existent. Like, it felt
really good. And Doom Eternal is like a fast-paced action first-person shooter.
Yeah,
so that you'd feel it if it was there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I feel like maybe I'd feel it on mouse and keyboard, but with the fact,
maybe you would more than on a controller.
Yeah,
for sure.
Maybe that's a big maybe on that. There was a couple times where there was like a network hiccup where my character or the screen just like did a quick few frame jumps. So there was that.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like you could encounter stuff like that. I heard people saying they had some crashes as well. I didn't experience a crash.
No, I mean,
yeah, but yeah, like you could tell that you're watching a compressed video if you're aware of those things. But aside from that, I walked away being pretty impressed because it felt good.
The Stadia technology to me is totally going to be my second screen gaming experience. Like, my plan for this thing is, not to replace a PC or a PlayStation, but it's kind of like, in addition to my PC being my main gaming platform, throw one of these things in my living room on a 4K display where I sit back with my feet up on the coffee table, and I could play a little bit of Destiny. And I got to say that plan is working out really well. If it works as well as it did at PAX, when I get it at home, I am super excited for that, because 4K Destiny, or even 60 FPS Destiny, with cross save,
that's hooked up to like a controller and a thumbstick.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
The rest of the Stadia, though, I'm much more like, the pricing model is too fucked up. It's just a bad pricing model, right? It's like when I'm staring at, yeah. So their pricing model is you're gonna pay for the service, a monthly fee for the service, and you're gonna get some stuff for free along with paying for that service. Destiny 2 is included in that, but there's also going to be games that you just have to outright purchase for full retail price, like $60. So for instance, Doom Eternal would be one of those. And I can't see myself buying a game on that service.
As a rental? Permanent rental?
Yeah. Like, I just don't see it. Like, and especially when I've got services like Origin Access or Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass, that, I'm playing Gears of War 5 today, included with the price of that service, which is really affordable.
Yeah.
I think it's $10 a month for, I forget how much I pay for that, actually, the Ultimate. Does anybody know the price of Game Pass Ultimate?
It's like 15, isn't it? Something like that.
It's like $15 a month, but it includes Xbox Live, Game Pass for Xbox, and Game Pass for PC.
Yeah.
Which is a really good deal because you get all of that for $50.
Yeah. And
when they release Gears 5, it just drops day one and you have it. Also, Gears 4 is on there. Also, Mutant Year Zero. I'm just looking through my Metro Exodus, Sea of Thieves.
Actually, the base Monster Hunter World is on there. So if anyone is, seeing people playing Iceborne, they're like, let me go just try Monster Hunter and see what I think about it.
Yeah, if you already have Game Pass, why not? I mean, you're probably going to walk away addicted and mad. So, sorry.
Creature in the Well, which was a game that we actually saw while we were walking through the indie booth. It's that one that was kind of like it was an action game / pinball game. Do you remember walking by that one?
Yes.
That's out on Game Pass right now. And like with those, like with Game Pass right now, I'm like, wow, I get all this for $15 a month. And Google's over here saying, well, it's $15 a month plus you got to buy each game. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, well, no, the thing is, if you bought the game, you don't have to have the service anymore. You don't have to pay $15 a month if you bought the game.
Okay.
So I believe somebody had a correction on this when we were talking about Stadia last time. And if you
confusing.
Yeah, if you do outright buy the title, you technically have access. But here's the issue with these things. What if Stadia is not successful and in 3 or 4 years they're like, well, it was fun, we're closing up shop. You don't own those titles.
Yeah.
And like that. Yeah. That purchase.
That's true with every online service though.
No, totally, yeah. It's just I don't feel like PlayStation is gonna go away. In 3 years.
Yeah. Game Pass could totally go away. Totally. I feel like Microsoft is just as bad as Google is with these services, as they'll just axe them when they're not profitable.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's the only part that scares me. But I love the fact that you can, hook your controller up to, you can basically play Destiny 2 on your phone. You can basically play Destiny 2 on your iPad. It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, as long as you have a good internet connection. You can be playing games on Stadia, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect casual gameplay setup.
Yeah, I'm not going to be in the Crucible doing this. I'm not going to be, day one raiding with this. But when I want to farm some materials, or if I want to just kind of chill out in the living room, Stadia seems like the way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pretty cool. Sure. There was another game that we checked out at PAX, which was the first time anyone was able to play it, was at PAX. And that's
we
called
played it first. We're the first people to ever play it.
Yes, we were the first fire team to play it.
First fire team, yes.
It's called Disintigration. It is a brand new game from a new studio, and the person who made the studio was one of the main original creators of Halo.
Yeah.
So that's where it's got some merit behind it, where it's like, this guy was sort of responsible for Halo. And there's also a lot of ex-Bungie developers that are working there.
Mm-hmm.
The person who was actually introducing us to the game and letting us know how to play it used to work at Bungie, and Tomo was there, who was his ex-coworker, and then all of us Destiny nerds are sitting there. So when he was introducing the game, he accidentally said Destiny because
he totally called it Destiny.
He was like, "So you're gonna play Destiny?" I'm like, "I'm playing Destiny." So I'm sure that was embarrassing.
This game is crazy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ted.
I was just gonna say, in his defense, it was the third day on PAX, and he was like losing his voice.
He was losing his voice, and I mean, you can imagine if you've worked on Destiny, and then you're just looking at Destiny people, you're like, yeah, Destiny.
Yeah. He's totally staring at his coworker, like his ex-coworker it was funny though.
It was definitely funny.
Really funny.
This game is crazy though. Like it's really ambitious. I feel like in the design of it is it's the basic gameplay of it is it's a first person shooter, but you're in this kind of like flying tanky thing. And you have control of like its lateral movement. You can move up and down, and then you can kind of move it in like a first person shooter kind of way, right? And very first person shooter controls. And then you have weapons on your tank that you can use to, shoot other tanks or other guys. But in addition to the control of your tank, you also have kind of this RTS control of, I would call them minions. I'm not sure what they're called in game exactly.
Soldiers. Yes.
Soldiers. And the soldiers kind of, there's like one guy that's like in heavy power armor. There's another guy that's kind of like lighter armor, like more mobile. And I think there's a third guy too, right? They said
there's like each unit, because there's different units, it can change between how many people there are, and each one of those soldiers has like an individual ability.
Right, they have individual abilities, individual health bars, and you move them around in this kind of RTS style, but not like from like a overhead map, like while you're in game. So you're kind of like pointing at a place, say go here, shoot this, guard here, like that kind of thing. And then you're playing this kind of multiplayer shooter with these RTS dudes on your team. And you're also on a team with other people who are playing the game. I'm not going to lie, it was hard to get a real feel for this thing from a quick demo.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
We played like a match of this, and I'm intrigued, and I'm definitely going to buy it when it comes out because like I liked what I played. But man, it just like, as you could tell from me trying to describe it, it's so hard to describe. And it's definitely going to be a game that's hard to master. I feel like it's going to be a game more like Titanfall where, Titanfall even is like, it's like Call of Duty with mechs. Like you can just say what it is.
Yeah.
There's no doing that with this game. And it makes it kind of hard to sell and to understand. I
think that's my concern for them and this game is if you have never played the game and you're just looking at it, it's very difficult to know what the hell is going on because it just looks like, there's a dude in a mech. Well, it's not even a mech. It's a freaking hovercraft. It's like a hoverbike.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to tell like what is going on. You can't just look at it and be like, this is clearly an FPS or clearly this is an RPG. It's like you can't even really tell that there's real-time strategy elements just from looking at it. You wouldn't know that that's what's happening.
Yeah, it's really clever, but man, it's confusing to explain because like each one of those,
it's confusing to play too.
Each one of those loadouts having like different types of teams that are rolling on the ground with you and like having to manage your little dudes running around. Like I really enjoyed that aspect, and I got to play. I played the tank first. Way too slow and like confusing to jump in the game. So I immediately jumped out of that and played the like the standard,
the Ronin.
Yeah, Ronin, like the standard like DPS / movement. Like the
kind of does a bit of everything.
Yeah, it does a bit of everything. And like I just focused on flanking and damage, and it was fun. But I walked away having a tough time explaining exactly what I did.
I walked away not really knowing how I felt about it because I had this mind of, I think this is a really cool idea, and this I don't think has been done before. And I think it's really ambitious to have, 5 players on a team and then everyone's playing a different role and commanding all these different people. I think it's a very ambitious thing. But in terms of actual gameplay, just playing one game was not enough for me to know whether I like it or not, even.
Yeah.
Just because there's so much, it's like if you hopped into a demo of a real-time strategy game, you're not going to know what the hell is going on. You're not going to be able to figure out the game just from playing.
I got the impression of when I tried League of Legends, and it's overwhelming that you have like things you got to buy.
Sure.
Like you have to, you got to manage these minions, and you got to kill the crystal, and like there's a store, and there's certain upgrade paths that you have to do, and like manage your resources and crap. And it's like, what? And that game is insanely popular. I feel like if they went that direction of trying to capture that style of the market with a free-to-play model and like sell skins, I feel like they could have a really strong following because the game is really cool. And if people get into those finer details, like it could be really, really exciting and fun to watch too if you understand what's going on. But man, if it's a $60 title,
they don't.
It seems like a hard sell to me at $60, especially. Is there a campaign? Do we know if there's a campaign?
Yes, there is definitely a campaign, but they are very focused on multiplayer for the longevity.
Is it going to be like a Titanfall campaign or Titanfall 1 campaign where?
Don't know. Right?
Well, we don't know how it's going to be. There's a lot that they don't even know yet. This is just like, hey, we got the game together. We have this multiplayer aspect. Come try it out. See what you think. So we don't actually know the pricing structure of it yet. We don't know how long the campaign is. We know it's a full campaign, but in terms of like them supporting the game, they want to support it through multiplayer, kind of like Call of Duty, right? Where COD will bring out new maps and new weapons and stuff like that. I think the thing that really got me interested in it, because when I first saw it, I was like, was when they started explaining about all the different units.
Yeah.
And the different units look really, really cool. So that instantly is something that I think they could show to people where they'll be like, ooh, I like the look of, that samurai looking unit or that robot with a flower hat. It looks great.
I played as like the psycho kind of unit, which was like clowns.
Yeah.
And like they actually had to tell me once I started playing that like my fire button, I was firing, but I wasn't doing any damage. And they're like, oh, you have a magnetic grenade. So you shoot that and you gotta hit the other button to actually explode the grenades. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, there was a lot about it. Someone came up to me and they were like, oh, this your other weapon heals. I'm like, what? My other weapon heals. All right.
Yeah.
There's a lot that I didn't understand just from first playing it. So I'm definitely interested in checking it out and actually spending some time with it.
Yeah, that's why when I picked Ronin, I would like shuffle through my units. Because you have your regular damage, like your actual weapons, and you have your unit damage and stuff, and they've done it really smart to where you just like you hit the right button to target, and then you can like you press the up pad, which activates that unit.
Oh, you were playing on a controller?
Yeah, then you hit the right button to say go do that. Like so, the right button is always activating whatever it is, whatever targeting system. So you can tell your units go target that thing. Like right now.
Yeah.
So it's really quick in a first person setting like that.
Yeah.
And then you just keep on going through them to when their cooldown is reset to be like attack. And I was doing decent damage with that. And that was fun controlling those units. But there's a lot of different stuff.
Yeah. And then add to that, it's a 4v4 match that we were playing. Was it 4v4 or 5v5 actually?
5v5.
5v5 match we were playing. So it was actually pretty chaotic in there, but it was kind of fun because like Watts, Tefty, and I could go one way, and our teammates could go the other way, and we could kind of do this pincer maneuver. And we were trying to like pick up this ball and like move it to,
just capture the flag
goal. Yeah, it's basically capture the flag. Yeah, it was fun. I liked it. I feel like it's got a hard road ahead of it.
It looked really cool. It was fun, but man, explaining like I feel like we just took 10-15 minutes explaining that and like it's still kind of unclear.
There's like units that you can pick and the units have different abilities, but then there's like first person shooter aspects, but then you're also controlling minions and then they have abilities, but then you have different weapons that do different things. Some heal, some do damage, sometimes it's grenade. It's very you can't just be like, so what is this game?
Yeah. First person shooter / RTS doesn't really mean enough to like explain what it is.
That's like not a genre right now. So when people hear that, they're like,
yeah,
that's weird. How do you do that?
Honestly, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with League. It's like if you haven't played League, then you are clueless as to what's happening.
Yeah, you're just looking at gibberish on the screen.
Yeah, you're like, cool units are you controlling? That's great.
Yeah. If it came out as free to play though, and they were able to support it with like season passes, like and skins, like I could see it catching a following. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. I could see it having like a really hardcore player base that's like, this is the game, this is the jam, controlling
people who don't necessarily get too turned on by like super twitchy shooters. They want a little more strategy, but they don't want to like literally just like be staring at like an overhead map. You
nailed it, Briar. That's exactly what it is.
I think that they're, like you said, I think if there is a $60 price tag or even $40, it's going to stop people from wanting to jump into it. and try it out because it is confusing and you don't really know what you're getting yourself into. But if it's free, people can play it. They'll be like, oh, this is actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Then I think they'll do much better.
They should do multiplayer free to play and have the same thing where like 1, 2, or 3 of those heroes or mechs are available each week and it rotates each week or whatever. And then if they buy the game, then they get the campaign and access to all the mechs.
Just do Apex Legends then.
Yeah.
Just follow that model. That works. Do that. I want that game to succeed. I want to see what they do with it over time too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also get to play Doom Eternal. And I gotta say, Doom 2016 is like one of my favorite games of all time. So I was actually pretty psyched to play Doom Eternal.
Yes.
And it's good. It's everything I want it to be. It's more Doom.
Now imagine a review coming out. I kind of wish they would have innovated more on Doom instead of doing the same thing that they did.
Yeah, they did though. I mean, there's like this on your shotgun, on your super shotgun, there's this like claw thing that you can shoot out and like tether yourself to an enemy, and it like brings you in closer. So it's like a navigational feature of like moving around in the level now, which is actually pretty fun. Like the biggest problem with that demo, this was on Stadia. The biggest problem with that demo is the fucking tutorial was like forever. Like I felt like we had like 10 minutes to play this game, and the tutorial took 8 minutes.
I wonder if that was just for PAX though, because then there's a lot of people who probably played it that were clueless. That's what the game was.
Yeah, I bet you're right. But once you actually got it out there and started shooting monsters, man, I was like, oh yes, this feels so good. I can't wait till this game comes out.
Yep. Yeah, that whole scene where you're like walking through the base and they're like, who's this guy? Oh, it's the Doomslayer. It's just so like, whoo, badass coming through. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, I was really excited to play that. Like that was half the excitement of playing on the Stadia, was that not only did I get to play on Stadia, I get to play Doom Eternal for the first time.
Yeah, it played great. Loved it. I can't wait to play the game. I've been sold on that game though before they even announced it.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
It's like, clearly I'm gonna buy that. Thank you.
Yeah, if you haven't played Doom 2016, like even if you don't think that it's your style of game, that game is just executed so well. It's just like, the thing that you do in that game is fun. Like it's the active shooting is super fun.
Yeah. If you get really squirmish with blood and guts or have a clear aversion to anything demonic, then you might want to avoid it. Any satanic things that show up, you immediately get triggered over something, then maybe not. But
that was fun too, seeing the new glory kills.
Yes. Yep.
And then they add something so that in the old game in 2016, like the glory kills gave you ammo, and like the chainsaw kills gave you ammo, and the glory kills gave you health
and armor. Yeah.
And then, but there's something new in this one, and now I can't remember what it is. Another type of kill that gets you. Maybe it's
really. I don't
health,
remember.
Ammo, armor. Maybe it's the 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this game to come out.
It's gonna be good. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to go over today?
Excited for Borderlands.
Excited to go slay some more monsters in like 5 minutes.
It's a good time to be.
You're totally gonna just log right back on, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
We had to go into Watts' chat today and tell her, hey, podcast.
I was trying to, so we're always late. So I was trying to leave it for as long as humanly possible without technically being late. But yeah, I got into a situation where I was like, I've got about 15, 20 minutes. That's probably not long enough to hunt a whole other new monster. So then I went into my room. So you have this new room in Iceborne in the new town, which is beautiful. And there's so many different options. You can put different paintings on the wall, different curtains, rugs, bed. You can change all the furniture. It's like Sims level detail just in this game, because why not? Just put it in there. So I kind of got very distracted and carried away changing my room. Placing monkeys in the hot spring, splashing monkeys in the hot spring.
That's great.
Placing penguins in my room.
I didn't know you could put penguins in there. That's crazy. Are they penguins?
Are they live penguins?
Yeah.
Are they the badgers? No, they're penguins actually. Yeah.
No, the penguins.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there's penguins. So you can capture them with your net and put them in your bedroom. So now I have penguins.
End game.
This might be one of the like those great years for video games.
Yeah.
It is
we're in it. You know what I mean? Like we've had those years before where it's just like there's so many amazing games that came out that year. 2016 actually is one of those years.
People are going to remember 2019.
Imagine Anthem came out.
I mean, Sekiro came out.
Yeah.
Sekiro came out.
Sekiro.
A FromSoft game that came out.
Resident
Spider-Man.
Evil 2.
Resident Evil 2.
Spider-Man came out last year.
Yeah, that was last year.
Never mind. Yeah, but
yeah, the Resident Evil. Yeah,
just September, and I mean, Death Stranding, the game that's being made by Kojima after he left, like that's gonna be groundbreaking, even if it's bad. Like the fact that he just released the game in 2019.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
There's
crazy.
There's no losing getting that game. I'm pre-ordering that game. I don't care if it's great or horrible. I win. Like,
will you even be able to tell if it's great or horrible?
Right, that's a good question.
Oh yeah, Remnant from the Ashes came out.
Remnant was a sleeper hit.
Yeah, I didn't get to say my experience on that, and I'll just say real quick that I absolutely loved it. Remnant was incredible.
You know, you probably fought like 10 bosses that I never saw on my first playthrough. That is
crazy. Mm-hmm. That's like that type of style of gameplay I love. I love the whole concept. It's like Spelunky, where like you don't know what type of encounters you're gonna get every time you play it, but done in a third person like Diablo shooter type of setup. Like I absolutely love it. And the fact that they're gonna keep on supporting it and make new stuff and add more items.
They actually today they announced what they're gonna be doing. I'll pull it up real quick.
They're like October 1st, big new expansion.
So they announced their first and second free content update. September 12th, they're launching adventure mode, and September 19th is going to be Leto's Lab.
What's adventure mode?
Let me read more about it.
Instead of re-rolling the entire campaign, you can re-roll parts of it to keep on going in to try to hunt for a specific encounter to get like your trait or weapon.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because currently you have to reset the entire world and then just hope that that monster that you want and that weapon, you can actually get it. Whereas now you can actually launch specific parts to re-roll it.
That's cool.
Leto's Lab, which is the next thing that's coming out that I don't think we've known things about before. But they said it takes you on a quest through the Research Station Alpha. The lab was established to research the mysterious red crystals with the initial goal of using them as a source of infinite energy. So this looks like so it's a dungeon.
Oh.
So it's a brand new dungeon that can be found dynamically spawned in Earth. It is unique among the other dungeons in Remnant as it reveals more backstory about the world and mixes in light puzzles with intense combat, including a new boss fight.
Awesome.
It's going to be randomly put in the world, maybe?
That's what like Diablo 3 did. You'd have to keep on.
Well, now there's adventure mode, so you can just keep re-rolling.
You'd have to keep on reloading to see if you get a particular spawn and all that. Like some people hate that stuff. I absolutely love it. I adore it. That type of gameplay.
It depends on the mood I'm in, to be honest with you. Yeah. if I got Borderlands 3 staring me in the face on Friday and I'm like just trying to get as much of this game in as I can, I just want to play the part I want to play.
Sure. Like if you can sit down
and
just grind
summer though, and I got all summer to play this game.
If you can just grind the game, like that type of stuff is fantastic. If you're on a time limit, you're trying to get something done, like it can be annoying. I will say
we have an embarrassment of riches right now.
Yeah. I will say I got to the end boss and I was a bit underleveled and got him down a couple times. But then I got super pissed off over the fact that you can't skip the cutscene of him transforming constantly. And I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm done.
There's a thing that you can use on him that makes the fight really easy, which kind of disappointed me.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. Because I was struggling and I was like, this boss just came out of nowhere. It's like this really hard boss.
It was almost like a raid boss.
Oh my goodness, this is gonna be I guess it's gonna be crazy. And then I switched to a certain L thing that I used on him, and it made it very, very easy. Yeah. So then I was like, oh, well, I was kind of hoping for the struggle, for this to be like this epic, crazy boss of, it turns out you just have to fight him for an hour and do it perfectly. And then you win. But it wasn't.
Yeah, it was a tough fight. I enjoyed it, but I got super salty at the end because I was tired and I was thinking about Monster Hunter World the next day and how I was going to be playing that instead of that. Yeah. But if you haven't checked it out, Remnant is fantastic. Definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
It is.
It's really gaining a lot of traction. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about it and like, really talking about it very positively.
Mhm.
It didn't get a lot of press when it launched, but it is.
I think they just dropped it and was like, let's see if people pick up on this. And amazing how people like loot and shooters that are done well. Crazy.
Yeah. Interesting thought.
Yeah. Groundbreaking. Is that the show?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Side quest complete.
That's the new SideQuest complete. Eric's normally has the she sings to the food. She's like rubbing the salt and stuff and food.
That was super creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude,
if you haven't played and there's just
if you close your eyes and
you
watch
haven't
it,
played and there's just people going you'd be like, oh, okay. That's what we're doing.
If you don't see the animation, you close your eyes and listen to the audio, you could actually get creeped out by it, by the way it sounds. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching. That is SideQuest officially complete, episode 17. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the support. Thanks to our Patreons as well, making the show possible. We'll see you next week talking about Borderlands and all that stuff. Maybe more Monster Hunter World, potentially.
Yep.
If you want to find more of me, you can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. Catch my streams, twitch.tv/TeftyTeft. And I'm throwing out a friend Marabella here. Use my code TeftyTeft on the Epic Store for some
buy Borderlands 3, perhaps.
Buy Borderlands 3.
I still need to pre-order, so I'm gonna be using that code.
It gives me a 20% cut, which is generous. Thank you very much.
That's a lot.
Epic. That's generous.
Yeah.
Doesn't work on PlayStation though. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
I Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts. I'm gonna be back in the old Iceborne in like 5 minutes.
Yes.
Nice. I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me at the Briar Rabbit on Twitter. I got my last video of VR headset, and I'm done with VR for a while.
Done for real?
Of the Valve Index. Yeah,
I doubt it.
This is the last
There'll be
one
another video. I know it.
There'll be another one.
The
but this
Valve
is the
Index
last one
Plus
I make for a while.
Will come out next week.
Valve Index Plus. I actually got prescription lenses for the Valve Index.
Nice.
And it's actually super nice not having to wear glasses inside the VR headset.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
It was only like $65 to get them, which is cheap if you wear glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's cool. Oh.
They shipped all the way from Poland, so it took a while.
Poland. My God.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But that was really nice to get prescription lenses inside the headset.
Nice. That's great. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.